Hello! So today is the day. It's been 3 days since I mixed this first test recipe of quinacridone scarlet. And so now I get to test and see how did the recipe work? What sorts of alterations would I want to make to this paint recipe, or is it fabulous and ready to go? I'll be very honest with you, most often it takes 2 or 3 shots before the recipe gets to be really ideal and what I'm going for. And I've been doing this for a little bit now, and so I had a really good base to guess my starting point on for this one, so we might be pretty close. So this is the quinacridone scarlet. Try to not get too much glare on that. And so what I do to test it is I put a 1/4 teaspoon of paint as I'm cleaning up onto a piece of watercolor paper and let that dry for 3 days, and then I can test it out and see how it's going to work. I also have a nice little swatch here at the bottom where you can see I've got some lines, and this just shows the transparency of this paint. And I try to do a little bit of a gradient as well so you can see kind of the undertones there. So let's see how this paint's going to perform. Okay, so testing a new paint, the first thing I do is rub test. And what this means, I just take a little piece of paper towel, and on my swatch where the paint's the thickest, I want to see, do I have enough binder to hold the pigment on the paper? And so watercolor, some will come off a tiny little bit, and that's okay, but I don't want to see a whole lot of pigment come off if I rub it just gently a couple of times. So that's probably pretty okay. The next thing I check is the dollop of paint, has it dried? And so when I touch it, it doesn't come off on my finger. It does feel a tiny little bit sticky, not even sticky, maybe tacky. And maybe it's just because it's summer and it's humid, and so that is, it's a very thick paint. It's a thick dollop. If I push on it, it still moves a bit, but it still doesn't come off on my finger. So it might just need a little bit more drying for the weather that we're in right now to be completely dry and solid, and that is okay. So far, looking good. Now, for the magic. Get some water on my brush, and then how quickly can we get vibrant color? Let's see. Ooh, ah! Wow. Oh, wow. That is fantastic. All right, here's something like that. So this is from just one touch. And if I go back, because now the water sat on it for a little bit, and you can see we'll get more vibrant, but that first one is really super vibrant still. And if we want to thin it and test it out. Look at that. Oh, I think it's a success. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So next steps are to put some of the paint into a half pan and see how it dries in the pan, because sometimes it will work really well here in the test, and then when I put it in a half pan it will crack. And so then that needs a little bit of an alteration as well, or an adjustment. Or in the pan it may just do something else weird. So that's the next step, is fill some pans, see how that goes, and yeah, this is so exciting. I have not had one work first time, other than the direct recipes that I was shared with initially. So I'm really super thrilled, and thanks for joining me on this journey. Stay tuned. you.